It's Kevin Keatsman Uncanceled on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio, 95.7 FM and 710 AM. I'm Kevin Keatsman, host of the Kevin Keatsman Has Issues podcast daily. If you ever want to give it a listen, if an hour is not enough here at Uncanceled, you can always get another hour after the show by going to kkhasissues.com. And boy, do I have issues today, including I was so close. I was at a red light. I had an errand to run on the way in here today, and I'm listening to Mundo. I almost called the show. I'm like, I'm a listener, and I'm like, I just want to call the show right now. And I'm like, nope, you can't do that. Radio boy, you got to sit tight, wait for your hour, and do your thing. I'm not even going to tell you what the topic was. It was not an argument. It was not a disagreement. It was an addition to the discussion. And I will tell you what that is coming up later on this show. It's when he was taking calls in the 9 o'clock hour. There's your clue. I feel like there should be a prize if somebody can guess what this is about. But I was like pounding the steering wheel, ready to go on this one. So we'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. Also, a former ESPN anchor has had it with boys playing against her daughter in sports. We'll get into that. Governor Kehoe speaks out about great meetings with the Chiefs and the Royals and the potential of the teams staying in the city. And I'm off the next couple days. And Mike Thompson will be in, longtime meteorologist, weather guru at Channel 5, Channel 4 here in Kansas City. So many years. Everybody watched him. He served in the Navy. He's now in the Kansas State Senate. And he's going to host the show the next 2 days. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Mike Thompson will be in the next couple of days. I will be out. So we will do the picks with Mark Van Sickle today. Your Friday dead stone cold lock of the weekend, of which we're 9-5 this year. We will give those today. Mark already has it. Wait, are you changing yours? Did you just change yours during the break?
I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth right now. We'll see.
Maybe I'll take the one you were suggesting because I'm undecided. I'll let you, if you want to stick with yours, I may steal that one because I'm looking at the NFL. It looks really hard this week. Trying to find that lock of the week, and I just don't see it. You will not catch me ever using an NBA line or whatever that league was. You were just soccer. Was it a soccer league you were betting on last night? Nope, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, Champions League.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm out. My dead lock will always be football or probably college basketball. I may at some point throw in a golf thing or baseball if it's the Royals, whatever. But we start today with spreading the word around the world, the word of Donald Trump. This occurred to me yesterday when I watched a silly moment at the White House that I couldn't actually believe. It was a reporter from India who was, in an elongated way, about to ask a question of the President of the United States, but he wanted to share some information with POTUS before he asked the question, which a lot of reporters who don't work there on a daily basis want to do. They look up to this president. He's an icon. They are proud to be in the same room. They can't believe themselves. They can't believe they're there. They want to pinch themselves. And they love the man. And this is all over the world. And it was pretty clear from the smile on this reporter from India's face as he's asking the question. He says to Trump, he's getting ready to ask him a question, but he says, thank you, sir. It was like India Day yesterday. They had leaders from India and all kinds of people in it, business people in America. And he says, you're the second most popular person in India behind President Modi. And Trump nods his head and goes, okay. He goes, it's Modi's number one, Trump's number two, Kash Patel is number three, who's an Indian American, charged the FBI, and Caroline Leavitt is number four. And I'm like, well, wait a second. The three of the four most popular people in India are Americans. I don't even want to get into, and I did this on my podcast today, the Caroline Leavitt part, because it's the greatest stereotype in the history of the world. The blonde-haired, blue-eyed young lady is the fourth most popular person in India. Of course she is. All right, so sometimes stereotypes are there for a reason. But this guy spills this out, and I'm thinking to myself, this is not scientific, but whatever. But this is what this guy brought to the president. That three of the most popular four people in India are Americans. Trump's an icon, Kash Patel's an Indian American, and Caroline Leavitt. Okay, I get it. And I started thinking, how do we view the world versus how the world views us? And I don't do a lot of international or world news here on this podcast. By and large, I'm your typical American. I worry about what happens here. I feel like as long as we're good here, we don't have to worry about all the fires that are going on around the rest of the world. I am one of those guys that's like, let's watch. I'm cool with us being involved in things around the world to make sure that stuff doesn't come here. But it came here. We've had illegal immigration. We've had airplanes flown into the Twin Towers. We have things happening in the second half of the years I've lived in my life that didn't happen in this country in the first half. We're now seeing all kinds of domestic terrorist threats. Many of these people are illegal. We have drug cartels here creating all kinds of havoc. We have all kinds of things happening because of people from around the world that are doing this here. So like it or not, we have become more susceptible or vulnerable to things that happen. And maybe we should look around the world a little bit more. And I thought, well, if they love Trump this much in India, there must be a lot of other places. So I start surfing around. I'm wondering about like immigration in places. Like London's a mess. They've had a lot of knife attacks. Their mayor has an open city. There's a lot of immigration. There's a lot of English citizens that are just disgusted with what's happening in England, that they're losing their heritage, that eventually they'll have no monarchy or royal family. It won't exist. They won't have the celebrations, the history, the tradition that's been around for hundreds of years, for centuries. And I see yesterday that Japan swore in a new prime minister. She's the first female prime minister, which would have been unthinkable a few decades ago. And apparently she's kind of a badass. All right. Her name is Sanai Takachi, and she ran on day one. I'm going to implement something called the Ministry of Mass Deportation. And she was sworn in. She walked up to a microphone. I said, I'd like to announce the Ministry of Mass Deportation. We're deporting everyone, and we're closing the borders. I'm not talking about Trump's criminal, illegal. Everybody is gone from Japan. It's over. She said this will be mass deportation. It will be swift. Everybody has to leave, because if we don't, there is no Japan. Now, we can think about the history and the traditions in the United States of America, but we're complicated. We have different regions and 50 different states that all have a lot of different traditions. Depending on where you live, your American experience can be far different. Japan is not as vast. It's not as big. They certainly have different types of people in Japan, but the Japanese culture is cherished. It's to be revered by every Japanese citizen. This is Donald Trump's vision of the world. And it's always been my vision of the world. You do you, I'll do me. I'm an American. You be a Japanese. That's great. Be our ally. We'll be friends. I'll visit someday. If I visit Tokyo on vacation, I don't want to see a bunch of people from the Middle East and Northern Africa running the city. That's not why I went there on vacation. When I go to Ireland, I want to hear some Irish music. I want to play some of the oldest golf courses in the world. I want to walk into a pub and probably drink a beer that I won't like very much, but I'll drink it because I'm in Ireland. What I don't want is what's going on in Ireland right now, and that is riots. Dublin was on fire last night. They were burning cars outside of a migrant hotel where a 10-year-old girl was allegedly raped by an African illegal alien. The identity of the person by Irish law is hidden from the public. They have kept the suspect in the illegal alien hotel. There are reporting restrictions, and people gathered outside by the thousands. They said, we've had enough. This started 2 years ago when 3 children at a school were stabbed on a playground by an illegal alien in Ireland. Most of these are coming from Northern Africa, and the Irish seem to be fed up with it. Now, Ireland's not been some stable place. The North and the South have been fighting forever, the Protestants and the Catholics. We know some problems in Ireland. I get you. But the last thing they want is their Irish heritage to disappear. Ask yourself this. If you're not an Irish American, do you know an Irish American? How proud are they of Ireland and their history and their tradition and their culture? The winning, this is terrible. This is, I'm not a bad person for saying this. It's just the truth. The winning countries in the world, the ones that have sustained their culture, their traditions, their religions, their excellence, their sovereignty, and their freedom over hundreds of years, those countries are the ones that all the bad people want to go to. All the people that have it bad where they are, in terribly poor places, rotten, crime-infested, rat-filled crap holes around the world, want to get on any kind of a boat and risk their life to get to Ireland if they can, because it looks good. I don't blame them for that, but Ireland needs to be Ireland. Japan needs to be Japan. The United States of America needs to be the United States of America. I feel like what Trump's doing here is spreading. He's not the first, but he's the first to do it in the way that he's done it. It's bold. It's honest. It's truthful. And when people hear it, they look around where they live and go, you know what? A lot of stuff, this isn't being racist or xenophobic or any of that. That's not true. That is not true. You know what I don't want to do? I don't want to go to vacation in Mexico and eat a cheeseburger. I'm not interested. If I go to a beach vacation in Mexico, I hope there's a bit of a language barrier between me and the server. And maybe I got to cough up a couple of words in Spanish. That sounds fun to me. I want Mexico to be Mexico. I want Canadians to be Canadian. I want them to love hockey more than football, although it's close. They love football. I want all these things for all these places. Think about vacations that you've taken, and not everybody's taken international vacations, and I haven't taken any. I mean, I've been to Mexico and the Caribbean, and that's about it. Alaska, does that count? I did go to Hawaii. That doesn't count either. But I've not been to Europe. I haven't been to Asia. But when I go, and I will go in my retirement, God willing, that I have enough health to do it, travel these, I don't want to go see Dublin filled with people from Northern Africa. And that's not racist. If I want to go to Northern Africa, I'll go there. I just don't understand it. And this should be the simplest thing that everybody on earth agrees to. There's nothing wrong with all of us having our own individual countries and cultures and histories and tradition. Now ask this question. Have you met anybody in your life ever that didn't have some history or tradition that they loved? Even radical left Democrats have some history and tradition that they love. There's something. It might be in their family tree. It might be their family business. It might be something about the United States that we've done forever that they actually like, although that's hard to find with a Democrat. But you might. We talk about sports teams. What is the only argument for the Chiefs staying at Arrowhead Stadium? The only argument. There is no good argument for them staying. The only one is history and tradition. That's it. That's the only argument. And if that's what the Hunt family decides, I'm not going to be the person to say history and tradition suck. I think they'll have made a bad business decision. But if they decide they take history and tradition over everything, I can respect that all day long. I love what happened in Japan yesterday. Ireland has elections in 48 hours. This is a crap show. At one point, Conor McGregor, the fighter, was going to run. He's pulled out. At one point, Michael Flatley, the Lord of the Dance guy, was going to run. He pulled out. 2 weeks ago, the Conservative Party leader pulled out for health reasons, has been replaced by a lady named Heather Humphreys, who's behind a woman called Catherine Connolly, who says she's independent but is completely funded by Soros and all the crazy socialists on the left. They've got burning on the streets in Dublin over illegal immigration. I can't wait to see how this goes on Friday.
Is Rosie O'Donnell running yet?
Is Rosie running? Rosie went there for this.
I know. It's crazy.
And they're revolting. I say go get it. Irish citizens, stand up. You have the right to retain your culture and your history and resist this. We all do. 913-408-7957 is the number to call. If you'd like to join me, this is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. Oh, I like it. We're getting more and more callers here on Uncanceled. I certainly enjoy that. Always respect your opinion. Welcome you in any time. And it feels good if I have said something that inspires you to pick up the phone and call us and share it with the rest of the city. That is awesome and what it's all about right here on KCMO Talk Radio. We start today with Mark in Brookfield. Hi, Mark. What's going on in your world?
Well, I liked your opening monologue about Irish, but you should have put Irish and Scots in there because they were the first people to the insurrection in the United States. 1794, the Whiskey Rebellion.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I kind of live in the here and now, brother, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, it was put down by George Washington, and
I love it. I love it.
He did the same thing. He did the same thing that.
Yes, sir. You okay, Mark?
He did the same thing that Trump is doing right now.
All right. Kudos to George Washington, president number one. He wanted it. They wanted him to be king. Did you know they wanted him to be king?
They
wanted him to be king. Did you know they wanted him to be king?
Yep.
Yeah. And he said, nope, we need to have a president. You can't stay on. No kings. George Washington, no kings. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that. Next up is James and Miriam. Hi, James. How are you?
Hey, good, Kev. How you doing, Keith? This
I'm
is
well.
Tinsley, man.
Oh, what's up, brother? How you doing?
North 82, buddy.
How you doing, man?
Hey, man, doing great. It's just nice to know that you've never been canceled, buddy. You've been like lunch at Shawnee Mission North. And how about I'll take a Wadgy hamburger. How about
Wadgy
that?
hamburgers, absolutely. The finest Roland Park ever offered up.
Yeah. But, man, from day one on your show, I just it's done really good. And I remember you said something about, hey, changing the Indian mascot's crazy and those kind of things. But, hey, I'm getting ready to take off to go to Poland tomorrow for about 8 days, see my son. And first time out of the country, going to Europe. He's playing basketball over there. But you're right. I want to go experience the Polish culture. We're going to go to Auschwitz. We're going to go. But, that country's been stomped over historically, And you're right. You said things about, I want to go to Ireland, experience Irish food, Mexican food and their culture. And, but people say, he's going over to Poland. Gosh, isn't it crazy? He's safer in Poland than Chicago
James,
or D.C. and some places in this country.
Poland and Hungary are the two most conservative countries over there. You're in good hands in Poland.
Yeah, I know. And that's the ones Obama was calling out. He wanted them to change, but they got to, man. And if you're Polish, man, the history of Europe goes through that country anyway. It's just there's nothing wrong with preserving. It's biblical, really, preserving your culture. That's what you got to do. And you come over here and you be American. We don't change for you. You change for us, but we accept you. But we've lost that concept and basically comes out through the roots of the Word of God. I know that's another subject, but hey, man, I'm excited. But hey, man, you're doing a good job, and I've always been a fan of you, Ken. You've always been a quality guy, man.
We've known each other a long time. It's been a while since I've seen you, man. Speaking of history and tradition, when was the last time you were at Ruthie's Keyhole on Johnson Drive?
Well, that place has cost us more state championships than anything.
Well, it didn't cost me one.
Well, that's for dang sure. Yeah. But that's right. That's right. You were a heck of a baseball player too, man. But that's right. 82, man. Those Indians, man. But them going ahead and changing all that's a mess. And,
I'll rat out my team. Thank you, James. I appreciate the call. It was great to hear you. I'll rat out my high.
McKinley, Fowler, Patton,
every one of these guys. I'll tell you what they did. There was a couple of exceptions on this deal. Thanks for the call, man. They skipped out one day because they went to school until like 11:30. It was the state championship week. It's like Tuesday before we're going to the state championship, right? 18 years old, you could go drink beer at Ruthie's Key anywhere. It was legal. 2/3 of our team left school at 11:30, went down to Ruthie's, started drinking Bud Lights or whatever. And we had practice at 3:30. They come back, they're standing up. We cut our own grass. We had a tractor trailer and stuff. Our pitchers in the outfield peeing off the tractor at practice. I'm not kidding you. Different time and place, not condoning it. Just telling you, apparently it was all legal. Somehow we got it together and won the following week. Yeah, thank you, James. I love history and tradition. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. All right, coming up, the reason I almost called Mundo in the morning today. Almost. I wasn't that close. I had my phone in my hand and I knew better, and I didn't do it. I had something that I just desperately wanted to add, which is cool. That's when radio's great. That's when you're really enjoying it. And all of you should feel welcome to call anytime, even if you think you'll be nervous. That goes for Mundo's show or whatever. But the more the merrier. The way I see it, the more voices, the merrier. Before that, let's talk just a minute or two here about Governor Kehoe in a Fox 4 report in Missouri that he's had great meetings with the Royals and the Chiefs and believes they're in great shape to keep both teams. Again, there's really no news. Earlier this week, Ty Masterson said that he expects a proposal from the Royals for Overland Park by the end of November or early December. He expects a proposal. So a councilwoman or a woman running for council in Leawood then did a subsequent interview and said, I don't know about that, because every single person, like everybody she talks to, says that's the worst idea we've ever heard, having a ballpark here. So the feedback at the local level around that location in Overland Park is absolutely horrible. The homeowners there do not want the Royals to move there. So this is very interesting. Also, the Secretary of State of Missouri this week made some comments that if they put a vote on the ballot to repeal the measure in Missouri, okay, if the Chiefs would more likely than likely move to Kansas. The threat from the Secretary of State is, yeah, okay, if you go put this on the ballot in the spring and you repeal this at the state level, that we're going to fund these teams, the Chiefs are moving to Kansas. That's all the leverage. They don't even mention the Royals. They just mention the Chiefs. And here's why. And we haven't really talked about this, and I don't know why this never occurred to me, but this week you could see it very plainly with the comments that we're seeing here with Ty Masterson, Governor Kehoe, a Leawood person running for council, and the Secretary of State Hoskins in Missouri. Let's ask this question. If you did statewide polling, are you okay with the proposal? Would you vote yes for the proposal at a state level? If you were a Kansas resident, would you vote yes on this? And if you were a Missouri resident, would you vote yes? And I think the answer is yes in Kansas and no in Missouri. If this thing gets a statewide vote for the Royals and Chiefs to get 50% of new facilities paid for by the state of Missouri, it's going down in flames. It has no chance. I'm talking 65-35. You can forget it. It is not happening. There is no way. Missouri is Cardinals country. They don't give two spits about the Royals. Okay? That's not even part of the equation. So any money going to the Royals is a complete and utter no, but no. The Chiefs, maybe, if they were standing alone in the state of Missouri, you want to keep them from going to Kansas. If you did the campaign, do you want to keep them away from Kansas, the Kansas City Chiefs? You might have a shot. There are Chiefs fans in the St. Louis area, but probably not. Missouri is deeply red, anti-tax, doesn't want to give money away, and you'd have to fully explain to everybody, well, we're losing the revenue anyway. So Missouri's lost no matter what. They either lose the revenue completely and don't have the teams, or they lose the revenue completely and pay the teams. That's the only two choices in Missouri. So it's a weird situation. But I do believe in Kansas, the majority of Kansans would vote yes on this. I think they understand what the star bonds are. I think they've seen it happen in their state. And I think they've seen a lot of growth on the Kansas side of the Kansas City area. And even people throughout the state are proud of that. If you live in western Kansas, you feel more of a pull to the Rocky Mountains and Denver and things like that. But you understand there's Chiefs fans, trust me, right out there on the Colorado border. There's plenty of them. And Royals fans, because those families go way back before the Colorado Rockies. I'd never really thought of it in these terms. Because Missouri they're trying to get, there are Republicans that are trying to put this on the ballot in Missouri to get rid of it. They don't want to do it. They're conservative and they don't want to pay the tax, which I don't understand because you're losing the tax. I don't understand why a Republican would care about this. You're losing the revenue no matter what. It's gone. The Royals and Chiefs revenue is gone. Okay? You're either losing it to Kansas or you're losing it to the teams. That money you've been pulling in sales tax is toast. It's gone in Missouri. You've lost it. You've already lost that. So I don't know why it is you would fight it. You either keep the team or you don't keep the team, and it doesn't really change anything. So I've just been looking at it differently, and I feel like that's the way this thing is lined up, that the majority of Kansans would say yes. And the Missouri, if they look, a Missouri statewide vote, we know the problems you have. In more than the eastern half of the state, more than just the eastern half of the state, they have problems. The state of Missouri, that's why they pushed it through in a special session and did it this way. And Hoskins, I guess, as Secretary of State, it will be his job if they get the petitions and it passes through and it gets on the ballot. It's his job to write the ballot initiative. What are the Royals and Chiefs going to do if this thing goes on the ballot in Missouri? Yes or no? What they passed in the special session, should we keep it? I don't see how that passes. They've got to keep that. Missouri has to keep that off the ballot at all cost if they want to keep the Royals and Chiefs. They cannot allow that on the ballot. And, same thing for Kansas. You wouldn't want to put it on the ballot, but I think if you did, I think it could pass in Kansas. I don't think it would have any chance really in Missouri. All right, Mundo in the morning this morning, he was talking about a legislator in Topeka, a state-level legislator that had been emailing him or pestering him, and I didn't hear him say it, but I assumed this was a Democrat. And they were talking about health care. In this family, you heard the cut that he played. These people, how long do we got to work? We need help from the government. We need health care. We need this. We need that. I have a family member with a net worth well in excess of $1 million that's on ObamaCare and retired. Not sure that's what it was set up for. There's so many problems with this thing. Everybody's different, okay? And this woman asked Pete, how long should they work? They just work and then they die? And I'm a bad person. I'll say it. I'm not a bad person. I'm a truth teller. A lot of you are going to go, hell yes, when I say this. Some of you are going to think, well, he's not very sensitive. You know what? You work as long as you have to. How about that? How about this is on you? How about you spent your life goofing around, taking trips, buying a cool motorcycle, not, taking any of your paycheck and investing any of it for retirement. Maybe you never bought a house. Maybe you're divorced 3 times. I don't know what you've done with your life. You can't blanket cover everybody in this country. And you know what we got to stop doing? We got to stop covering up for the people who screw their lives up. I'm sorry. You did it to yourself. This is America. You do you, I'll do me. And that's not callous. And millions and millions and millions of Americans got it way better than me. I'm not complaining and asking for anything. I'm just not. I didn't save a nickel. I didn't even know how. It never occurred to me. I was so busy and thinking about my career and had kids and all this stuff going on. I didn't save a nickel till I was 35. Now, that's probably not that unusual, but I got the message. You got to tuck something away. Someday you're going to be 60 and you're going to think, wow, sure would be nice to have a nest egg here and be able to do what I want and not work until the day I die. Don't screw things up. Don't go in $100,000 worth of credit card debt and pay 21% interest every month and no principal, okay? Don't live your life like our federal government. So that's my answer to these people. Healthcare is not a right. AOC and Bernie say it is. It is not. It's nowhere in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. You have no right to healthcare. You have a right to live your life the best you can. And if you get sick and you can go to a doctor that will see you for whatever arrangement you have with that doctor, they will treat you. You're on your own. Hate to tell you. That's the way this works. Your parents, if they did the right thing, booted your butt out of the house when you were 18 or 21 or 22 and you were on your own. And if you're sitting around now and you're 62 and you're like, I'm tired of working. I want the government to pay for my cheap health care. I deserve this. I want to retire and live out my golden years. You blew it. You blew it. I'm going to guess you had more fun than me. You had more days off than me. You had more times where you didn't work, where you didn't pay into Social Security. Maybe some years where you didn't pay any income tax because you barely worked and you were scrounging around. That's on you. We have safety nets for disabled people. We have Medicaid, we have Medicare, we have disability, and we have Social Security. You're getting a check if you've ever had a job at all, or you don't even have to have that. You're getting a check at some point in retirement. It may be small and you can't live on it. But even then, if some people get a $4,000 Social Security check and you get one that's $1,500, it's not fair. Yeah, it's fair. Somebody worked harder than you. I'm sorry. I just don't. If you're healthy and you're older and you're complaining that you want the government to take care of you with health care, it is not your right. Keep working. There's nothing magical about being 60 or 65 or 70 or Joe Biden 80. He wanted to work till he died. Well, he basically did. That's okay. I like working. I enjoy working. It gives me a purpose. It gives me something to do. I enjoy what I do. I like it. It's not for everyone. I know a lot of people want to kick their feet up on the beach. And I know people who had very middle-class jobs or careers, husbands and wives, raised maybe 3 kids, lived in their same house for 30 years, paid it off, went up in value, invested every paycheck into a 401k, and they're sitting on beaches in the Caribbean right now at age 64. Living the good life. Yeah, it was a grind, and they both worked, and it's not easy. It's paying off for them now if that's the way they want to live now. To each their own. There is no right to health care, people. This is a ridiculous discussion. How long do you have to work until you retire? Well, how about as long as you have to live the life you want to live? If you want to go live in a very cheap place, in a more dangerous part of town, and just live off your Social Security check, and that's it, go for it. because you don't want to work? Fine. There's work everywhere. The illegals are leaving. Walmart announced yesterday they're done hiring anybody with an HS1B visa. It's over. There are fees to be paid for these people, and Walmart's done with it. You can probably make $20 an hour at Walmart, working 30 hours a week, and get health insurance. Don't whine to me that you want the government to give it for you, that you want subsidies that expire December 31st. It's not my problem. It's your problem. Guess what I'll do? I'll keep working for health insurance. It's the greatest perk I have here at Cumulus. I spent the last 4 years self-insured with my own company. It was outrageous what it cost, but I paid it because it was important to me. And now I'm here doing this. Cumulus has a great plan. Most employees have no idea how good they have it. I was on the other side of this for 20-some years. They don't know. Cumulus shows you on your little thing every 2 weeks. It shows you what they put in toward your health care. I could be wrong, guys. It's somewhere around $900 a month they're kicking in. About $12,000 a year. They're paying toward our health insurance. You don't see it on your paycheck, but they're paying it. It's not free. That's tax-free revenue for you, essentially. You don't have to pay for your health insurance that way. Get a job. That's my answer. Work as long as you have to. It's a pretty simple concept. Mark is in Shawnee. Good morning, Mark. You're on KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kevin. You're throwing it down today. I'm going to tell you something. I agree 100% with your first topic, and then this one ties right into it. It ties into the very reason we're America, because we go after what we want. You want something, you go get it. You earn it. And then stick your chest up and say, I feel proud because I'm an American, because I have the right and the opportunity to pursue the things that I want in life. And there's nobody going to stop me from doing it except myself. And I'm so sick and tired of these people that sit back and say, well, you know, I don't want to hear it. I've worked 2-3 jobs like many millions of Americans to get what I want in this country. And we live in the greatest country. That's our culture. That's why we're the greatest country, because we pursue what we want. I don't want a handout. I want to work. I'd like to work till I drop. And that's just how I feel.
That's awesome, man. Mark, you're the best, buddy. Thank you very much. We're also blessed to live in a country where if you don't have health insurance and you don't have any money and you are poor and you fall over and have a heart attack and somebody calls 911 or you call 911, they're going to come pick you up in an ambulance. You're going to get great treatment. They're going to take you to an emergency room and they're going to keep you alive. And guess what? They can't get a nickel out of you if you don't have a nickel. But you live in a country where we're all going to take care of you with our health insurance premiums. Do you know how much built into our premiums for deadbeats that have absolutely no insurance that show up in emergency rooms? They're not turning people away. You're already covered, okay? You're covered for death. We'll keep you alive. That's it. You want 26 bottles of medicine and a bunch of pills to pop, and you want to do all this, tummy tuck and tighten your face and all that stuff? Do it yourself. Don't ask for help from someone else. Uncanceled continues. Me and Mark with our locks of the week next on KCMO. Mike Thompson will be the guest host of Uncanceled the next 2 days, and then Stan Weber on Monday. I'm going to be out for a few days, and when I get back, I'll explain why. But not now. So you'll have to wait and find out after I get back. That's the way that's going to work. Since I'm not here Friday, we can't do our Stone Cold Locks on Friday, but Mark Van Sickle has it dialed up. And I have stolen his pick number 2 because it's better than anything I came up with. The NFL looks hard this week, does it not?
It does. A lot of big favorites, which I don't like.
The Chiefs got the hook that you hate, right?
Uh-huh.
You want to explain that to everybody what happened with the Chiefs? It was 9.5, correct?
Yeah, it was 9.5, and then it moved to 10.5. So
Ooh.
I like Chiefs winning by 10 points. But once it gets over that, it's kind of
So if it were 9.5, would it be your lock of the week?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Instead, you're going with?
I'm going with KU minus 2.5, which I like that too, because then they just have to win by a field goal.
Right, which they did 17 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. They got to get it this year. This year is the year. It's the new booth. The new booth opened up. They're ready to go, and K-State isn't quite as good as what everybody thought. So that's why I'm picking KU.
My favorite line is the K-State streak has a driver's license.
Yeah.
16. 16
Almost
years
able
old.
to smoke.
16 years old. Okay, I'm going to go with the Oregon Ducks. Now, I saw it at 32.5. I think you said 33.
Yeah, you can take it at 32.
Well, it
Yeah,
probably doesn't matter.
That's when
there,
I looked it up yesterday. So
all right, 32.5, the Oregon Ducks over Wisconsin, which has been shut out in back-to-back weeks.
yeah, they've been getting absolutely crushed. I don't think they have a quarterback.
Well, was Wisconsin at home the last 2 weeks?
Yes.
Got
And now it's
shut out.
at Oregon.
And now they're at Oregon. Oregon doesn't take it easy on anyone. So the best part of this play is it is incredibly unlikely that Wisconsin will get more than 10 points.
Yeah.
Even if they pull everybody for Oregon, it'd be hard to get 10 in the fourth quarter, right? Mm-hmm. So, and Oregon always scores big numbers against teams. I love that. So we're going to go Oregon Ducks and Kansas Jayhawks.
I think the Ducks score close to 50 this weekend.
All right. Did you see the comments from Russell Wilson, the quarterback, the backup quarterback for the New York Giants? Sean Payton is the coach of the Broncos. And after the game on Sunday, they beat the Giants, who replaced Russell Wilson with Jackson Dart, the rookie. And Payton said, wow, he sure put some energy into that team, Jackson Dart did. We were hoping the whole way that they weren't going to make the quarterback change until after we played the Giants. Well, Russell Wilson's the backup. Russell Wilson was Payton's quarterback in Denver last year. Russell Wilson is not happy. He's never said anything bad about anybody, correct? Russell Wilson?
Nice guy, yeah.
He posts, classless. I didn't realize you were still bounty hunting 15 years later.
Let Russ cook.
Right. Sean Payton was suspended for a year from coaching because he put out bounties on players. One of the giant scandals in the history of the NFL. Nothing but cheaters in the Chiefs division. Harbaugh cheated at Michigan, right? Sean Payton cheated in the NFL, got suspended for a year. And Raiders coach Pete Carroll cheated at USC.
Yeah, he paid players before it was legal.
Yeah, everybody cheated. Everybody in the Chiefs division is a bunch of cheaters. Leave on that happy note today. The Vince Show's coming up. Take it easy on Mike Thompson the next couple of days.